morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brian Norris, the operations coordinator and narrator for Team Oracle, featuring the undisputed solo star of the North American Airshow circuit. Up in the air this morning for his idea of a nice, easy, early morning practice flight from Salinas, California. Ladies and gentlemen, this is his 13th appearance over the skies of Rhode Island. Again, this is Sean's idea of a nice, easy, early morning practice flight. If the folks here at Quantum Point had been unable to allow Sean this 10-minute practice window, he would have still climbed into this aircraft, taken off from an area 20 miles away where he would have flown for 30 to 35 minutes. Because he feels that's what he needs to do in order to give you the best performance possible when he comes back later this afternoon at approximately 1:40 to give you his full 15-minute power aerobatic routine. This aircraft that you see Sean flying is known as the Oracle Challenger, and it is all new for 2007. This aircraft was custom built specifically for Sean over this past winter. We dedicated over 4 months and over 3,000 man-hours into building this aircraft. It weighs in at approximately 1,250 pounds and is powered by more than 400 horsepower, making it easily the most high-performance aerobatic biplane in the world today. Last year, while in Rhode Airshow in Lakeland, Florida, we had stopped in Kingstown, Louisiana to practice for 2 days. While on one of those practice flights, and while pulling out of an approximately an 8D dive, Sean suffered a complete elevator control failure. That failure made that aircraft impossible to land safely. Once we determined that was the case, Sean had to climb the aircraft up using the trim system and the power in that aircraft to an altitude of approximately 7,000 feet. He flew the airplane until there was less than 1 gallon of fuel remaining. He then reached up, shut off the ignition, ejected the canopy, undid his seatbelts, climbed over the side, and dove to safety using his emergency parachute. At that time, once Sean was down safely on the ground, by the next afternoon, we were already in action, preparing our backup airplanes to finish the 2006. In the middle of November, we went to work to build this aircraft. As you can see, Sean's style of flying is very aggressive and very hard on the body. Throughout the course of one performance, Sean will experience in excess of 10.5 positive Gs and over 7.5 negative Gs. It is for that reason that Sean works out each and every day, alternating between days at the gym and running continuously. Sean is in tip-top shape, and as you can see from his style of flying, that is an asset. Our air show season runs from the middle of April until the middle of November. In that time, we will cover over 25,000 miles all across North America. We will travel as far to the southeast as Fort Lauderdale, Florida, as far northeast as Long Island, New York, and also right here in Rhode Island. We will go as far northwest as Seattle, Washington, and as far southwest as San Diego, California, and all points in between. In one season, this aircraft will accumulate approximately 300 flying hours, and once that season ends, this aircraft is completely dismantled and rebuilt. The wings are made of wood, they are covered with fabric. That is all redone. The engine is removed and overhauled, so is the propeller. All of the sheet metal on the aircraft is stripped down to bare aluminum and repainted. Once the fuselage is exposed, we'll correct any errors or any repairs that we need to make. We might install some new equipment or some new aerodynamic surfaces which we've been experimenting with. Our goal every year is to get this airplane flying again by the middle of February. Sean will spend 1 week getting this aircraft dialed in, and then once he's happy with it, he will fly 4 to 5 times a day for the next 3 weeks. Get yourself ready for the Airshow season. This aircraft does in fact fly from airshow to airshow. You can see it's not a very large aircraft. It is not built for comfort. We employ some of the top relocation pilots in the industry to safely get this aircraft from point A to point B. In addition to flying this aircraft, we travel with a twin-engine support airplane, which is used to carry all of our various tools, support equipment, spare parts, and our luggage. Once we arrive at a show site, we will unload that aircraft, and we actually remove the 2 rear doors on that Seneca aircraft, and then use to do a series of media flights in each of our local areas. So, for example, earlier this week, we took one of your TV stations flying and 2 of the local newspapers. What we'll do is Sean will be in the Oracle Challenger. He will join up on the Seneca to provide those photographers an opportunity to get some very, very dynamic, close-up, air-to-air photographs and videos. Towards the end of our performance this afternoon, you're going to see Sean do just another of his many original maneuvers, but this one is cut. What we're going to do is get 12 brave volunteers to go out onto the runway in front of you with 3 sets of aluminum poles. Those aluminum poles are 20 feet tall and suspended between each set of ribbons, or correction, each set of poles will be a ribbon. Those ribbons are going to be spaced barely 700 feet apart. And what Sean is going to do towards the end of that performance is slice all 3 of those ribbons in one single pass in 3 separate flight attitudes. Right now, during this morning's practice flight, Sean is actually for practice the triple ribbon cut. Sean dives down on that center line of the runway. He is imagining that first ribbon. He starts with the wheels barely 5 feet above the ground and dives pulling the aircraft around into the triple avalanche. Right now, stopping the rotation, Sean is looking out through the top of the canopy trying to find ribbon number 2. Once in sight, he continues around the corner, diving underneath that second ribbon. He passes underneath ribbon number 3. As Sean climbs skyward, he is now going to show you the world's smallest inside loop. We call this the alley-oop. Sean is now going to set up all 3 of those ribbons in one single pass. That is, if he determines that that show line is in fact obstruction-free. What Sean's going to do is turn inbound from the right, stop this aircraft 15 feet above the runway at well over 210 miles an hour. He will then roll into right knife edge flight to cut that first ribbon, his lower wingtip less than 10 feet above the runway. Once through that first ribbon, he rolls into left knife edge inverted to take out that third and final ribbon. You'll notice that Sean is no longer producing smoke from our aircraft. The reason for that is this aircraft only holds approximately 8 gallons of what we call smoke oil. It's a very lightweight oil, about the consistency of cooking oil. That Sean earlier circled the skydiver through that smoke oil. So at this portion of our show later today, he will in fact have that system running right now. He's out of the oil. I'd like to suggest now that you get your cameras ready, get on your feet, and get as close to the fence as you can, because Sean is going to turn inbound for his salute to the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. This will be Sean's low-speed, low-altitude photo pass. As the wings come level, Sean is now going to set up for the final maneuver of this effort addressed in this morning's practice flight. We call this the Harrier Pass, named in honor of the awesome power and capabilities of the United States Marine Corps AV-18 Harrier. What Sean's going to do is take this aircraft down to a ground speed of less than 20 miles an hour, essentially trying to turn it into a helicopter. Aircraft ready for later this afternoon, and you will see Sean back in the sky for his full 15-minute power aerobatic routine at 1:40. So now let's turn things back over to your master of ceremonies, none other than Mr. Larry Rhode.